Okay, so we're here with Justin from Two Notes Audio Engineering. How are you, Justin?
Great, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm very good. What have you got to show for us today?
Well, new for NAMM 2022 is our new Revolt Guitar and our Revolt bass products. And plugged in for you right now, we have our Revolt G or Revolt Guitar. You want to keep going?
Amazing, yeah. So, what are the features of it?
So, we had a preamp series for the last almost 9 years, and we decided to do a rebuild from the ground up. So these aren't just the other pedals crammed together in one pedal, but there are some things that you may seem a little bit similar, but we'll just go through them. So first of all, we have 3 channels. We have an American Clean, which was modeled after a Bassman 100. We have a British Crunch, which is a Marshall Plexi amp. And then what we did with that is, about till 10 o'clock, it stops where a regular Plexi would, and then past that we have what I'd call the hot-rodded Plexi sound. And then we have a third channel, which is designed after an SLO 100. The interesting thing is we have 3 channels, but for every single channel we have an assignable boost. So you get almost 6 channels by how that will work. There's a direct output on the back to go straight to a mixer or a computer or whatever, or you can run it to a product like our Cab M or any kind of IR loader to use the digital technology, but this is an analog from the ground up. It does have digital switching, so it's full MIDI capable. And then there's a really cool feature that this does as well. Say you have an amp with an effects loop that's 1 or 2 channels, you can use this in the 4-cable method, and then you can add 3 more channels to your amplifier. So if you have, like, say, a Marshall 800, well, now you can add an American Clean, you can add a different voiced Marshall, and you can add a Soldano, and you can also use the preamp section out of the amplifier. So we try to serve a few different audiences and do it all in one box. That being said, we know that this is largely going to be used as kind of a turnkey system for a lot of people. And then we don't have that plugged in right now, but we actually have an effects loop in there as well that's pre-output, so you can plug into any stomp boxes, delays, reverbs, choruses, or whatever you have, and still use the out without trying to go after that post.
Amazing, wow, so many features.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean anything if it doesn't sound good. So we put a lot of time trying to make sure that it would sound as it should. So just kind of out of the gate, this is the American channel. Something I can do that's pretty cool is I'll put the boost in there, and it kind of gives it a second channel and adds some nice smooth gain with a nice cut to it. And it can get fairly crunchy too. So that's kind of it's a lot just out of one sound. So then we know a lot of people are going to spend a lot of time on the gainier side. So we'll start with channel 2, and I'll kind of show you how the gain tapers through. Again, that's kind of where a Plexi would stop, and then I've only got the gain at about 1 o'clock there, so we still have quite a bit more gain left in there. Like the other channel, we have a boost. So now I'll add the boost on top of there. Something to note is that the unit's very quiet, even with all that gain in there. So for people that are playing, you'll notice it doesn't add a lot of extra noise. Clean signal path.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I'm hearing is like it's really sort of heavy, but it's clean too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like the sort of muddiness.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about what's very interesting and unique about this. So this runs at 200 volts, and what that does is it allows the tube to work as a tube should. What does that mean? Well, quite simply, a tube needs to operate right around 200 volts to allow the headroom that you need, which gives you the feel and responsiveness of how a tube amp works. A lot of preamp pedals don't have enough voltage to them, so they sound kind of congested, and the dynamic range is narrow. So what that means is if I'm on the plexi type channel, if I lower down the volume, it still is. It's very responsive. So. And then it cleans up, nicely.
Sounds awesome. Sounds really, really good.
So that's the kind of thing, that the responsiveness. A lot of, we're known for digital technology, but there's a certain thing that analog does if it's done correctly that just has a very organic and natural, very real sound, I guess is what we'll call it. So the only channel that we haven't shown yet would be the Solo 100 modern lead channel, which kind of just starts with this one, leaves off almost, and then you've got so much gain and compression in there, it just makes it a very easy, fun playing experience. I'll add a little more gain in there too. And of course, if you want to go completely crazy, you still have the boost that you can add on top of that. And the cool thing is this is all assignable from the switches up front. So you could cook any kind of MIDI stuff you want to control more of the channels. So you could, access all 6 of them, but you can get to all 6, just from the top panel as well. So it does a lot of things in a pretty easy to use, simple package.
Definitely, man. And what are the input? What are these things? What are the sockets on the input?
So this is what I was talking about earlier. If you enable the 4-cable method, what that does is allows you to run this to a guitar amplifier's effects return and add the 3 channels plus boost on top of using the amp channels that are already in there. So if you have an amp that's 1 or 2 channels, you just turn it into 5 channels or 7 channels or whatever. So this is a great way to expand your current amps to what they have as well.
Amazing.
And then we have a cap sim on or off, so you can bypass the internal cap sim as well. But very important too, we have an auxiliary input and we have a headphone output as well.
And is this available now?
It will be shipping in September, and the US map is $399. And the Revolt bass will be the same price. And this one specifically voiced for bass with an SVT channel, a super bass channel, and a modern drive channel that you got to hear to believe it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for
Thank
showing
you.
us that today, man. And amazing playing. I love the playing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.